All right, we are here. We are back, and we just let's just say we missed y'all, dear listeners. In case you haven't noticed that we've been gone for like a whole week, nothing came out in the interim, and we just wanted to say like, hey, what in the world did we do on our breaks? So Demetrius, what'd you do?
Well, with that, kind of just like what I mentioned last week in our Secret Invasion episode. Obviously, this episode is coming out before our episode three, Secret Invasion episode. But with that, last week went to go see Wicket with a friend. That was an incredible play, absolutely amazing. The singing, just set pieces. Please, just yeah, if you get a chance to go see it, go see it. Went to a Dave Chappelle show, which was absolutely hilarious. But that's what I mentioned last week when I did my full hill turn to being a Jaegerist, which people let me know about. And there were some dissenters and also some approvers, just like in AOT. So with that, also, man, I just really took some time. I wanted to go to Amsterdam, try some herbal experimentation, and then go to the mountains of Singapore and chill with a silent retreat with the monks. That's what I wanted to do, but funding. So, how
Mm.
about you?
Had to take some time, had to go ahead and recollect myself. I was kind of on a pure dark. I was on a dark path. You could say like I was always on the dark side, but I had to reflect. I had to reflect on the Anakin side of me, not the Vader side. I had to, go out into the woods, into the mountains, meditate, train, fight for my life. And it turns out there was one opponent that I just couldn't beat. I was humbled by every time, and it's called the sun. The sun be out here just taking folks out left and right. People getting sent to the hospital, people overheating, and then there's me over here feeling like I'm on Tatooine. I feel like I'm over here on Mustafar. I feel like I'm Anakin right after the fight. I'm over here trying to crawl up the lava bank, but it just wasn't taking. If you couldn't tell, I am by like 3 shades darker. So as such, I can officially proclaim that I am the darkest man alive. The dark side is truly one with me. You turn off a light and I will disappear in a heartbeat. It's kind of tragic, but that's just where I'm at right now. And let's just say I'm back, and hopefully I took care of my scroll imposter.
I wanted to say last week in my rant that like if you just open the door, you already and look outside, you turn 2 shades darker, period. That's just how it is in Texas right now. If you like walk outside, since it's like 99 degrees Celsius, you just start boiling like Fallsworth did to the scroll. It's out, it's wild, man. I can't do it no more. We're like the Nara clan. That's what I also the Nara clan using the shadow juices and everything.
I feel like I'm Clayface out here. It's one step and then.
But let's get to it. So I'm Demetrius,
And I'm Demetrius,
and Meech presents.
Blurred City Podcast.
So we are finally getting into cartoons, something that we talked about in our very first episode, which we'll recap with the Tears of Scorn. Just with that, we're going to get into full breakdown of cartoons growing up. We're going to date ourselves. We're going to actually try to also reach further back into some cartoons that like we're going to try to remember before our time, and then maybe not so much currently, but just different things like that. And then we're setting this up like we like to do. We like to do an intro before the next week we do a draft. So we're having on 2 friends for that. One that some of the listeners are already familiar with, and then another that's going to be a new guest to the podcast. So before we get into this episode, let's hit us with the legal spiegel.
All right. So the purpose of this podcast is to explore digital and print media. All sources we reference are owned by their respective companies, and our thoughts and opinions are strictly our own and reflect no biases or corporate agendas. Your discretion is advised.
So as we always get into it, before we have one big thing that we want to celebrate, before we get to that, let's get into what's hot. What you got, Meech?
All right. So I do want to start things off by just mentioning 50th episode of the
Yes, sir.
podcast. It's here. We are here. It's our anniversary, y'all. So we had to come popping. We had to come correct. And I just want to say to the listeners, like, I just appreciate y'all. I appreciate all the comments, all the out of pocketness that, and see my character devolve into just pure insanity. And then just of course my co-host and the fact that he finally sees the light. He finally sees see the true way. This is the way, the way of the Jaegerist, the way of the Empire. He is one of us now, and to see his character development is just over the series is kind of crazy. I'm not even gonna hold you, but yes, I just want to start off with that.
Nice. Yeah, 50 episodes, absolutely incredible. The fact that we started last year, and remember re-releasing just the first episode, and where we are now, completely, completely different, just from an audio setup, just the confidence that we both have, the way our show kind of flows, still growing, still developing, got a ways to go to get to where we want to get to, but technically we don't know where we want to get to. We just want to improve every week, every day. So we're just going to keep moving forward. So anything else you got just in the realm of nerddom for listeners? We're recording this very early, so I'm pretty sure there are going to be some things that we miss.
Oh yeah, 100%. All right, so anime scene, of course, One Piece, Bleach, the 1,000-Year Blood War Part 2 coming out soon.
Yes.
And by soon, I mean this week. And then we got ourselves, bam, we got ourselves a Spy Family movie coming soon. Bam, at the time of this recording, I still haven't seen the Black Clover movie, but when we're recording this, it's on the 4th of July, so I have time. All right. So
do you?
Don't listen. I'll have time. I'll make time. All right. Okay. After I take care of business, if you will. Yes. And then we got ourselves also in the realm of nerddom, got the comic book scene. If you guys listened to our What's Hot earlier, we lost a boy in the form of Vanish. Vanish is over and done with, but in its place we got Kill Your Darlings, and we got ourselves the Schlub, both of which are coming out soon. Be part of the KLC press crew. That's all I'm gonna say. And then of course Carnage Reign just ended. And then we got ourselves the Death of the Venomverse coming very soon. So, hey, Summer Symbiotes is about to go wild. And then also in the realm of just gaming, we finally get some more details on Mortal Kombat 1 in the form of the character bios. We also get to finally see what Venom's logo look like for Spider-Man 2. And I gotta say is I better have my t-shirt come in yesterday. All right. That's all I'm gonna say, Marvel. Just give me my that's all I'm gonna say, Sony. Give me my t-shirt yesterday, okay? And I need the front and the back logo to connect, because I'm tired of it just being either on the front, or if it's on the back, it don't connect at all. So I'm just need y'all to come correct with that. And then after that, we got ourselves what else has been coming out recently, but that I haven't mentioned. You know what? That's just where I'm gonna leave it off at for right now.
All right, cool. So also Mushoku Tensei, Jobless Reincarnation, season 2 is finally dropping. It was one of the best when it came out isekais that occurred in recent memory, in recent years. Really good the way of Rudeus. Hopefully he grows from being a pure pervert and we can enjoy that character even more. With that, Jujutsu Kaisen is back, our friends. I'm so excited. Season 2. It's about to be hands for days. I believe it's going to be a flashback, so we get to see young Gojo, how his friend betrayed him, part of the Frieza clan, calling people monkeys.
Frieza. I just really need to see the main character Yuta again.
Yes.
The real main character of the series.
Yeah, that was absolutely incredible. Something that was brought to my attention. We need to toss a coin to our Witcher. Season 3 has dropped. Yep. Final season of Henry Cavill. It's going to be so sad, just the chemistry he had with the two. And yeah, I believe that's all. So keep on the lookout. So let's get to it.
All right. So what we got here today, we're going to transition, if you will, to our general discussion about the topic of cartoons. So Demetrius, would you like to regale us and remind the good peoples who've been with us since season 1 about the Tears of Scorn?
So we brought up in season 1 the Tears of Scorn. So it's kind of just like tears heading from like the top tier is like what you get roasted about the least, to the bottom is what you get roasted about to the most. We listed that out in our very first episode, just to kind of label what it's like growing up as a nerd. So with that, our first tier is superheroes. Just in recent years, the come up, everyone having that as kind of just their outfit growing up, Halloween, things like that. You can talk about superheroes up to a certain extent and like not get roasted for it. The second one, which we haven't talked about at all on the podcast, cartoons. Cartoons are something that just like bring people together. It's a part of a lot of people's childhoods, just growing up with cartoons, getting lost in the sauce. It almost felt like kind of just like how we are, like if sports people watching football every Sunday, like cartoons, like every Saturday or on a Friday night were absolutely incredible, like a tradition, if you will. Next tier is the fantasy tier. So kind of with that, your Lord of the Rings, your Harry Potters, your Dungeons and Dragons, your Star Wars, Star Trek, just in that realm. One that we added was gaming, just with that in our season 2 conversation, where it's like, yes, a lot of people do game, but to an extent, gamers do get a bad rap with that. And then the final one, which it might be on the rise, we'll reconvene later, but anime. Definitely growing up, if you were an anime fan, you were getting roasted. Don't even worry about it. You were definitely getting roasted no matter what you did. And I'll be honest with you, a lot of people that were anime fans growing up absolutely deserve to be roasted.
Yep. We just not gonna talk about that. We already recapped that in the first episode, but all I gotta say is just please do not try to do the Kamehameha mid fight when you're in a street brawl, because that's just liable to get you killed.
Or go Super Saiyan.
Don't even.
All right. So with that, first, before we kind of like get into the recap, different things, because we're going to go into like a lot of the networks and cartoons we did growing up. We're just going to have an open conversation with it. So meets kind of how we did with our anime intro to anime breakdown. We're going to talk about watchability, themes, and variety. So how do you feel about that with cartoons?
Oh man, I feel like cartoons. Cartoons is one of those things like we're going to discuss later. Is like there are kind of like tiers in terms of like the age range for like certain cartoons, and like with that there's like the toddlers cartoons, you what you thinking about, like Arthur, Dorothy's Lord, like the PBS type of stuff you may watch. Those are the type of things like people kind of somewhat associate with cartoons nowadays, being like very child friendly. And sometimes the episodes may like teach like a moral lesson here or there. Then over time, like stories started like evolving. They may like become more serialized. They become like more like adult friendly, like where like it's still child friendly, mind you, but there may be like heavier themes, maybe like more adult themes, or heck, for certain shows they may outright have like hidden adult jokes in there, where like if parents are watching the shows with their kids, the adults be the one be like, hey, yo, and be the one that be wilding out. In fact, that's why like I love like seeing YouTube compilations of like adult things in certain cartoons, and you just like, hey, yo, wait, I remember this. Hold on, I didn't even know this type of deal. But I feel like it's one of those things where like the cartoons, like depending on like what audience, depending on like what age range of the people were going for, that determines like whether or not it would have like variety of things, like friendship or power of love, or sometimes you got to kill your enemies, just type of deal.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, it's watchable, especially considering like especially during our time, they like to make cartoons to where adults would be able to watch it as well, because more often than not, if a kid was watching cartoons, their parents were forced to watch it too.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, just kind of with that watchability, like you mentioned, there's so many different realms of cartoons, and we'll definitely get into that, where it's like some were definitely, hey, this is for older audience at specific times at night when they release, and then others are like, hey, this is the Saturday morning cartoon that we kind of went to. So there's like a lot, and then especially like particularly, we'll get to it later with Cartoon Network and how like there is like 3 that I can think about where it's like specifically teenagers really, really love the show, like teenage to like mid-20s, things like that. Themes definitely just like all over the place. You can learn a lot of just like minor lessons for like little kids. We're not going to really talk into like kitty cartoons, but like of just like, hey, you need to learn how to share. Hey, how to treat people nicely and things like that. And then also just with variety, you can really kind of dig into a lot of cartoons with that. So before we get into it, let's kind of discuss what it feels like to age out of cartoons and like kind of what that transition was for you.
Man, I still remember it like it was yesterday. All right. So it was like roughly either like middle school or beginning of high school for me,
Mhm.
where at just certain point I just didn't like watching certain shows anymore. Like whether it'd be like Cartoon Network, like they'd like stop airing like certain shows that I liked and they stopped airing reruns of it,
Mhm.
or just stuff where like the new stuff that was coming out, even for like a long running show, did not like uphold to the same quality I stood, or at least I was expecting from it. It changed over time. I'm just like, I just can't rock with this anymore. And then of course by the time high school came out, and then you just do not and you don't speak of what you watch for, I mean, I'm just saying, like, you just do not speak of it. At certain times, like, you just start hearing whispers of, like, other shows you can start watching, and then that's when, like, okay, let me just go ahead and give this a watch, give this a watch. And then over time, it's like the cartoons start fading further and further and further in the background to eventually, like, you just don't watch it anymore. But, like for example, like, I started watching shows like Breaking Bad, Law and Order SVU, Law and Order SVU, Law and Order SVU, baby. Suits, comedy shows like The Office and stuff like that. Just it started going to like the more live action adults territory.
Right.
But but it was more of a slow burner rather than a just one night change.
Yeah. Yeah, that's why I mentioned transition. So similar to you, it was towards the end of middle school, early high school, where it's like usually like Friday nights were like cartoon nights, but then like I played high school football like essentially all the fall, like that Friday, I was like busy.
Mm-hmm.
And just kind of with that. And then at the time, Marvel was starting to pick up. So then like a lot of like with the MCU, so a lot of the shows like Agents of Shield started to come out. And then this is when around the time the Arrowverse started hitting. And I used to love like the early seasons of Arrow, The Flash, Legends of Tomorrow, things like that. And then on Netflix, you had like Daredevil, Jessica Jones starting to, that was more later high school, early college kind of deal, but just like those types of shows started coming out. And then also, this was still the time period where MTV was an actual thing. So, like MTV, VH1, and just like the different shows that they had, like you mentioned, just like Comedy Central was something that I was a big go-to for me. Sci-Fi Channel, like on Saturday nights for like that eight
Go
o'clock, nine
Cutters.
o'clock movie. Yes, really loved it. So it was just kind of where similar. I remember specifically with Cartoon Network, like around the time that like Chowder and Flapjack came out, is when I was just like, it kind of fell off for me because like a lot of different shows started ending, and then obviously like with Nickelodeon, a lot of shows were just like very, very kid friendly with that. So
SpongeBob.
yeah, so just kind of with that is just like moving forward for it. So and then one of the things that benefit where we're kind of off that, but late into high school, early into college, this is kind of when anime started picking up with the birth of Attack on Titan.
Oh yes, absolutely. Because just before then, I always like, I'm pretty sure like most of the Americans is like, you really like had cartoons and anime kind of just lumped in together as one.
Yes.
And then like over time, right? Well, and also that probably didn't help because of the fact that like it aired on the same channels. But like
Mm-hmm.
over time, like as I mentioned, like certain stuff started like coming out to where it'd be more like adult friendly, got like much more serious tone or much serious like subject matter. As you mentioned, Attack on Titan was most definitely one. Full
Yeah.
Metal Alchemist was most definitely one.
Yes.
We looking at you, Tucker. But yeah, it's like as that started like progressing, then like my interest in those started like progressing too, and to
Mm-hmm.
where like it's like if and it's just like the big statement is like, hey, if you don't evolve, you die.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So with that, now we're gonna kind of just like start to recap all, go down this like retro road. It's gonna be a really fun time. But before we hit that, let's get our sponsor for the day.
All right, for today's sponsor break, we have ourselves the Cartoon Media Network. With this, you are able to go and join this community where you are allowed to create whatever cartoon you want. Do you want a show about cops who are implicit in the murder of a child? You can go ahead and watch that and create it. If you want to watch a show about super warriors who fight using katanas, you have a show for that as well. But if you also want to have just a show about just friends sitting out in the heat, just talking about life, go watch King of the Hill. But if that's the case, we can create a show like that for you as well. Whatever interests you have, we can make it, as long as it's not of the fur variety. So please come join the Cartoon Media today.
Well, I thought we were trying not to get canceled after last week, but once again we failed. So we're gonna keep moving forward. So buckle up.
We're gonna have a counter, like, all right, let's see how many times let's see how long can they go without saying something controversial.
Well, we reset that to 0 starting today. So with that, we're going to go to our buckle up, go down Retro Road, and just talk about all the cartoons that made us. So starting with what I would say is the GOAT Network, Cartoon Network.
Yes, sir.
Oh man, let's get it.
Where do we begin? All right, where do I begin? You know what? Let's just get my goat out the way. Courage the Cowardly Dog. Let's go ahead and talk about him. All right, let's go ahead and talk about the goat. All right, my man's Courage out here dealing with horror, dealing with just life-ending scenarios, but he's still loyal, even though he real scary. All right, just goated.
I mean, he was going through it, my boy.
Look, I understand, but my man's is the GOAT, all right? He really out here.
I remember that episode with the tree, and that was probably it was one of the most messed up episodes with the tree.
Oh, no. Oh, here's one that I remember. Well, besides, of course, King Ramses' Curse, probably the most episode, right?
Yes.
The one that got me was the episode where all the villains got together and just systematically beat the unholy mess out of Courage. And the fact Courage kept standing, I'm here like, bro, Courage, fight back. Fight back.
The original Takemichi.
Literally, like, even as a child, I wanted to jump through that screen to come run the fade with my boy.
Yeah, yeah. I also remember it was like the duck/goose episode where they like took over Miriam and Eustace, and they were like doing the Rocco Sacca robots.
Bing! Oh man, that show was amazing, bro.
All right, so for some of it's hard. I think what my favorite one was for the time period where it was out was the Powerpuff Girls, because they threw hands, and I mean, I really love my girls Bubbles, Buttercup, and Blossom. I mean, they just like went in. They had like some of the best villains at the time. Mojo Jojo, him.
I am him.
Just some of the Rowdy Rough Boys, among others.
Yeah.
And then one of my favorite episodes was like the clown episode where it's like the world was black and white, and then Bubbles, she had to like be a part of the band to like bring him back. That song hit. And then the movie with the Mojo Jojo was crazy.
Yes, the Mojo Jojo movie, that was the one I remember the most, because that one was just depressing.
Yes, and then everyone was fiending for the mayor's secretary, Mrs.
Cerebellum.
Yes.
Cerebellum.
Fiending.
I think that's where many people got their thirst card. But speaking of Powerpuff Girls, let's talk about Professor Utonium on his solo adventure as Samurai Jack.
Oh, yes, sir. See, I had that in a certain block, but yeah, let's go with it already. I love Samurai Jack.
Yeah, I love it too. Oh, I see where you would have put it, but But yeah, it's a perfect transition because the two of them, they just look the exact same.
Absolutely. I forgot how to say it. It's like something Tarkovsky, the creator of it, but he is like an absolute genius because he also created Dexter's Laboratory.
Yeah, they're
But
Dexter.
man, when Samurai Jack came back and just like the original, like I know they like fixed the ending, but like the ending for like the comeback was so depressing
Yep.
originally, and then they had to fix it. Oh man.
Hey, you think Attack Time might do the same, but that's another story for another day. Like the action was great. Samurai Jack, he a real hero, right? But
Mhm.
let's also talk about the trio. You know who they is.
Yes, sir.
Ed, and Eddie.
Boy, that theme song hits. That's how I learned to whistle, basically.
I did too.
Yeah.
Actually, that was where I learned to snap my fingers as well.
Hey, that's crazy. What's crazy about Ed, Ed and Eddie, it's like it was a show I had such a weird relationship with it because like there were times where I was like, I know, like even as a kid, I was like, I know the show is good. It was like I just can't get into it for some reason. And then there would be times where I'd be like, yo, Ed, and Eddie is on. And like I think when I got older, I started to love it more than when I was younger. But man, I loved Ed, and Eddie. And then again, we were introduced to simping through that, but it was reverse simping with the Kanker sisters.
Oh nah. See that reverse simping that terrified me as a kid. All right, I'm not even gonna hold you. I'm not even gonna hold you. Like the fact that all three they were down diabolical for
Do you remember the footsie episode?
I thought I was gonna be able to forget that episode. Nope. You decided to bring it right back up.
Oh man, that
Yeah.
was good. So some of the other ones, man, Kids Next Door,
Woo!
just go to that. Kids Next Door really was like one of those shows where it was like made you appreciate being a kid, given the fact that like once you hit a certain age, I believe it was 13, it's like you forgot everything about like Kids Next Door, being like a part of the missions, just being a kid, and it's like you were already an adult, and that was sad. And then learning that his dad was like number zero.
Yeah, the movie, the KND movie. Wait, but don't forget. There was also that episode where every single character had to like go through a different thing, and I
Mm,
remember specifically how number 4 had a Dragon Ball Z s episode. This
yes,
segment, I was hype.
and
I'm
his
like,
hair.
and his hair just turned into. I'm like, this man just reached Super Saiyan 12. Let's go.
Yes, and just like rooted for him and number 3 to hook up, and then everybody wanted 1 and 5 to hook up, but they never did. So and then number 2, the GOAT, you gotta love the nerd.
Yep. Again,
All right.
number 5 is a powerful sister.
Yes. So then, oh man, to just get through all this, because Cartoon Network just had the shows. Grim Adventures of Billy and Mandy, Dexter's Laboratory, like I mentioned, Foster's Home for Imaginary Friends, Ben 10, which might have been my favorite when it came out. Ben 10 went hard.
You mean Yuri Lowenthal getting his bag?
Yes,
You think
sir.
Yuri Lowenthal getting his bag?
Oh man. What was your favorite of the original 10?
Heat Blast. Heat Blast was my favorite of the
That's a
OG.
good one. See, this wasn't my
Forearms,
favorite.
forearms through hands though.
Yes. I loved the name for a lot of them. My favorite name was Accelerate because like when you looked at it, it was like XLR8. And then it's like, oh, that goes crazy. I think my favorite, it was either Upgrade or Ghost Freak. Because Ghost Freak and then like the reveal of what Ghost Freak was went crazy.
Oh, when Ghost Freak went full villain, I was not okay. I was like, hey, yo,
Yes.
how Ben gonna have Ben 10 and he only had 9 aliens now? That's crazy.
And then you had like, well, I guess Ben 10 did come off after Naruto, but the Sasuke with Kevin 11.
Yeah.
Oh man.
And then here's the crazy part. Ben 10 had a better Boruto than Boruto. Remember when they went to the future
Yes.
and
Yes.
his kid was I forgot his name, but he still was throwing hands too as a
Yeah.
kid.
Oh man, Ben 10 was so good. All right. Another one that's gonna have to we gotta talk about Teen Titans, and this is kind of what you were talking about with like the drop in quality. So when Teen Titans ended and then Teen Titans Go came out, it was just like it broke my spirit.
Listen. All right, when that last episode hit, which was the Terra episode, so when Terra came back, I was just like, all right, so we gonna just get more, right? And then we get the movie.
Got the movie.
Trouble in Tokyo. Trouble in Tokyo was lit, especially considering we finally get our boy Robin and Starfire together.
Yes.
After we've been shipping them for the entire series, and then suddenly the show ended. I'm like, no.
Too bad we didn't get that Raven and Beast Boy, but they work better as besties.
Do they?
I mean, they should have hooked up because like Beast Boy was there for Raven through a lot of it.
Yeah.
Beast Boy is one of the goats because he was there for everybody. Like he was a go-to friend. Like he was there for both of them. Like Terra, Raven. He was there for Cyborg, who also had the Riz with Bumblebee.
And can we not talk about that moment when Cyborg, he was talking with Starfire, and Starfire was like, he's like, don't call me that name because like it's a hurtful name. He's like, yeah, I know what that felt like. Ooh. And you're just like, ooh. As a child, it didn't make sense, but then as I grew older, that moment hit me like a book. Mm-hmm. It's like, it's like, yeah, I'm part. And then he paused and he's like, robot. And it's like, oh nah, we know exactly what you were trying to say.
Yeah, that was rough. And then just like Cyborg's character development through that, especially like the Brother Blood kind of themed arc of it was incredible. And then even with Slade, like
Slade is a top tier villain.
It's crazy because I didn't know that was Deathstroke at the time. Because like they never, I guess because it was on Cartoon Network, they couldn't call him Deathstroke. So it was always the Slade Wilson. And then like being older, being able to connect that, Slade was a menace, man.
Oh yeah, he much, in my opinion, he much better than Conway because at least it doesn't imply that he hooked up with Terra.
Yeah.
But also, if we're talking about menaces, we need to talk about Red X.
Ooh,
we need to talk about Red X, boy. That was menace personified. It
was diabolical.
Both iterations. Robin when he was Red X and the imposter.
Yeah, jeez. And then just Robin, like his turn as like an actual leader, appreciating that. Man, see, the thing is, like Teen Titans Go, I believe it's all the same voice actors, but it was definitely geared for like younger generation. But the thing is, like when we were younger, we had the Teen Titans, so that's like crazy with it. We're not going to stick too much in the superheroes, but like obviously Justice League, Batman the animated series,
and Beyond,
just all of those. Yes, which was on WB4. So I guess we can kind of transition to the next stage of it. Oh, something that I wanted to mention where again, like it was more teenager and then college people, but it's 3 shows: the regular show, Steven Universe, and then Adventure Time.
Oh yeah,
I couldn't really get into any of them, but I do know all of them are really good. And then just one that I kind of actually appreciate as an older person is The Amazing World of Gumball, or Amazing Adventures of Gumball.
Oh yeah, Gumball is like one of those that I just got into recently and realized this show is amazing, bro.
Gumball is funny. All right, so we can go to the next stage.
Yep. So the next stage is of course Adult Swim. Let's go ahead and talk about some of them Adult Swim shows. Them shows that
we should
only came on late at night, about like 8-9 o'clock when we should have been in bed. or if you're like me and parents didn't care, like as long as you went to bed by a certain time, you were good.
Mm-hmm.
So what some shows you got?
So obviously Samurai Jack hit during that time. One that came out later, it wasn't when we were younger, but Primal. It's the same creator of Samurai Jack and of Dexter's Laboratory, and then they actually created this new one. It's like Unicorn something that I want to get into, but it's in that same span. But Primal's really good. Robot Chicken. Robot Chicken was one we should not have been watching.
To this day, I still don't know how they got away with what they did.
Robot Chicken was wild.
Oh, nah. I remember the Dragon Ball Z one. all of the Star Wars specials because they ran Star Wars 1 to the ground.
I think it was a spinoff from Robot Chicken, but it was like Orville or Norwood. It was like this kid that was like very like depressing or whatever, and like he ended up killing everybody or something like that. I forgot what his name was, but it was so funny.
Oh no! Oh man! What was the other one that I saw? The Oblongs.
Yes.
Oh, I was not even allowed to watch that.
And then it was it was like Aqua Teen Hunger Force, which I was like kind of 50-50 on. But that I believe Rick and Morty started on Adult Swim, but then but it was much later when it originally came out.
Yeah, sure did. And of course, as you know, Rick and Morty influential to this day. Szechuan sauce. I still got some Szechuan sauce up here. I'm not even gonna hold you. I don't even know if it's any good or not, but it's probably not. But we're gonna keep on moving. Some other shows on Black Dynamite.
Yes. That was funny.
That was funny, especially the Michael Jackson episode.
That's the go-to one.
Like that one had me in stitches. And then just other just different sundry adult shows, but we can like mention that one when we get to that category.
Yes. So also with Cartoon Network, we have the importance of Toonami in our intro to anime episode, which is our 5th ever episode in season 1. We kind of mentioned it, but Toonami really introduced us into, hey, this is the separation between cartoons and anime. A lot of the different things we kind of didn't know. So like obviously the Naruto's, the Dragon Ball Z's, Yu Yu Hakusho's, and different things like that. So we can keep moving from there. So also since it's owned by the same company, Boomerang, the Hanna-Barbera cartoon. So we have just like the different Flintstones, the Jetsons, also like Tom and Jerry, and then Looney Tunes. Yes. So shows like that.
Don't forget the GOAT. Don't forget Scooby-Doo.
Yes, cannot forget Scooby-Doo.
What's new Scooby-Doo? We're coming after you.
What's new Scooby-Doo hit hard.
Oh, sorry. I was about to bang out right here, right now. That's crazy. But,
yes, the Yogi Bears. I wanted to talk about Looney Tunes.
Yeah, let's talk about it. Let's talk
Foghorn Leghorn he's not supposed to be black, right? I hope not.
I really hope not. Because if he was,
I said. I feel like Daffy was definitely supposed to be black.
Yeah, but don't forget, this is also the same show that had the Jim Crows.
And Speedy Gonzalez.
Yeah, so I wouldn't. Oh, and Pepe Le Pew, the Mr. R. Kelly himself.
They canceled him in the new Space Jam movie.
I know, but still, the fact that he's still around.
You see, in 2023, how you fix that character is you make him a simp instead of a pervert.
So is that how we fix Johnny Bravo?
Oh, we didn't talk about Johnny Bravo. Wait. Johnny Bravo was a simp and a pervert.
He was both, but you do have to recognize that he'd catch multiple charges.
That's true. Also, something that now that you mentioned it, I just thought of Code Lyoko and shows like that. But I think that could kind of be like in the Kids WB. So like the Mucha Luchas and just like
that's all
shows like that. So Kids WB, which wasn't on Cartoon Network, but again, same company with Warner Brothers. And then the 4Kids. Oh man, Static Shock, like you mentioned. This is where like anime like really hit. So anime such as like cartoon. Well, Pokemon, which again I thought was just a cartoon for the longest time. Yu-Gi-Oh! Digimon wasn't on, it was more of a Disney thing, but yeah, shows like that kind of hit hard.
And that's also where One Piece got its start.
Ooh, that's true. Before they reset, right?
Yep, that's where we had the Lollipop Sanji. You got the One Piece rap.
Wow.
But yeah, that was where stuff like actually that Kids WB, that's where stuff like Animaniacs. That's where Sonic X dropped.
That's true. Shaolin Showdown, The Adventures of Jackie Chan.
Yeah. And don't forget all the Transformers.
That's true.
Armada, Energon, Cybertron. But get it.
Yeah. So anything else with Cartoon Network? Because man, Cartoon Network, I loved it growing up.
Heat. That's all I gotta say. Heat.
Now, transitioning from Heat to Peak, we're going to Nickelodeon. My goodness, Nickelodeon had like peak cartoons. We have to start with just like two. Well, we have to have a conversation about it, but Avatar: The Last Airbender.
We have to.
How did they make something this good at that time period?
I listen. All I have to say is just straight. Mm.
And it's only 3 books. Is it 3 or 4?
It is. Hold on, let me grab my box real quick. One, two, 3 books.
And like the thing that was so great about Avatar: Last Airbender that I appreciate later as an adult, they got in, they told the story they needed to tell, they got out. That was the end of it. They didn't try to push it. Obviously, there's new movies coming out later, like yes,
Korra.
and then there's a live action version of the movie that's coming out again. I think it's the series that they're doing live action, and then there's something that's in the shadow realm that I don't vaguely remember that came out with M. Night Shyamalan. So,
Wait, M. Night Shyamalan touched Avatar?
I don't know. It's in the shadow realm. It's like a vague memory of something that happened that I never saw. So who knows?
Dang, crazy. But yeah, it's definitely peak. Like I don't know how that was a lightning in a bottle. They literally they hit it, they ran with it, and then they let it end.
Every supporting character, like in the main one, had like such a good story arc. Like the Zuko story arc is insane. Like
Zuko go crazy.
Take it.
Yeah. Man, let me go ahead and talk about my boy Zuko. Let me talk about my man's. All right, he had some of the best character development in the entire show. He had perhaps, in my opinion, better character development than Vegeta. All right, because let me just tell you something, right? To see this man like over the course of the series willingly be like, okay, my honor, and screw the Avatar, and then eventually develop to, wait, hold on, my dad is an op.
Yeah.
And screw my dad, who's also voiced by Mark Hamill, because Mark Hamill voices everybody. Then it's like, okay, hey, Uncle Iroh, you the daddy I never had.
Yes.
And when they hugged, when they reunited after Zuko's betrayal, waterworks. I became a waterbender that day.
You know what else is waterworks? The Tales of Ba Sensei. Oh man.
Please, from the vine.
Fam, just like every character had a good arc. Zuko, Toph, oh my gosh, Katara, our boy, just everyone.
So I never listen. There will be no Avatar slander here. If you're talking about the OG series, I will not tolerate any slander. You will get you will get hit with the Agni Kai super quickly. But that's show for another. We got to move on because there's more heat to be talked about.
We got to go with this other one, the champ, SpongeBob, one of the most quoted cartoons,
one of the most memed
ever. This like is like the office of cartoons. Like, where is this like, yo, like you can quote SpongeBob for almost any moment in life, man, and be good.
Yup. In fact, I may actually do a SpongeBob day where I just quote nothing but SpongeBob and just see what happens, see how many people get it.
Fam, like, oh my goodness, like the Krabby Patty pizza episode is goated. My favorite line in SpongeBob, and it doesn't even make sense why, is that it's not just a boulder.
It's a rock. No. The goated episode for me, well, actually there were two. One was the health inspector episode. Because that straight up became a murder episode.
Yes.
That was the darkest episode I ever seen. But then the other one was the chocolate.
Oh, yes.
Chocolate.
Oh, man, that one is good. Then the one where they played the performance at like the Krusty Bowl, or I forgot. Oh, and it was just like singing the song.
Yeah, that song on my playlist to this day.
Oh man.
When
And
I
then
go to the gym, I just be repping that one.
the campfire song where it's like you wear the sombrero. It's
Yup.
like, no, it's like this. Oh man, the Krabby Patty, when Squidward ate Krabby Patties for the first time.
Oh yeah.
And he says, what's it gonna do? It's gonna go to my thighs.
Thighs. Boom.
No. Then you blow up.
Wait. Don't forget when SpongeBob met Sandy for the first time and then he was in that dome just
Like
I
us.
need
Just like us now in Texas.
man.
Oh, the one where it was like the Dirty Dan.
No.
And
Who you calling Pinhead? Or what about when the entire cast started getting superpowers from
Yes.
Mermaid Man and Barnacle Boy? It's like, hey, you want to go see me run to that mountain back? Want to see me do it again? Man defied even the cameraman. He was that fast.
Oh man, we would literally quote SpongeBob all day. We gotta keep moving. So I don't know what would be third, but one that I want to talk about next, Danny Phantom.
Okay, good. Because I was about to say, if you don't mention Danny Phantom,
Danny Phantom.
there's only one that I could say would top that, and I would be okay with. But no, Danny Phantom at least up there, because that man was hands.
Yes.
He, in my opinion, is the Ben Tennyson of
Yes.
Nickelodeon.
Yes, that's the equivalent in my opinion. And that theme song went hard.
Yup, gonna catch him all because he's a Danny Phantom. Let's get it.
Oh man, Vlad being an op trying to hook up with his mom.
And don't forget like the Flash Thompson allegory. The whole
Ooh.
show was basically Spider-Man, but with
Ghost.
Ghost. It was, and also, did you ever get like the implication that because of the fact Danny's half ghost, he's half dead?
Ooh, I did not catch that.
Look, there's so many things about that show. But for me, what probably like my favorite episode of Danny Phantom, right? It had to be the ultimate enemy, where he fought his his future self, because that was the darkest episode.
Yeah.
Everybody dying. He just go full tilt. I'm like, yeah, yep, good. Just here, Danny. I know you need a hug, bro.
It goes to show that sometimes you're always your biggest op. So, man, I remember the episode where his sister found out that he was the Phantom at first, and that was a great episode. Just his relationship. I believe Sam was like his co-best friend, and then the black best friend as well.
Yeah, Tucker.
Yes.
Tucker. And don't forget how Sam became his boo thing at the very end.
Yes, after she overcame, the childhood best friend wall, and then also the popular girl wall.
Oh yeah, because sometimes ladies just know that the friend zone, it ain't just for us guys, all right? Because we can friend zone y'all just as easy. Hold on, where did that come from?
Oh dang! Let's keep moving. All right,
yeah, so let's talk about greatness. Let's talk about another great one. Let's talk about Rugrats.
Yes, I was literally thinking that.
I was like, let's talk about the other one where I said if you put like if Danny wasn't number 3, Rugrats had to be number 3.
We had to put Rugrats, yeah.
All right, because them baby kids were out here wilding, all right,
adventuring.
Yeah, adventuring and just how much of an op Angelica was.
You heard the dark theories about Rugrats?
Oh, I did.
That kind of ruined it for me later.
That's crazy. But I'm like, bro, that made no type of sense considering the fact that they all went to Paris. I still got my orange VHS tape for them Paris.
That Reptar versus like that snail fight went
hard. To this day,
I am Reptar. Hear me roar.
Or don't forget how in the first Rugrats movie, Tommy almost wanted to kill his own brother.
Black diaper energy, man.
The black diaper energy. I don't want no responsibility.
Man.
That's another one we could quote all day long, but
and then that too has one where we can't talk about what happened after they got Borutoed. So we're just gonna keep moving.
Let's keep on moving.
I have to group this one together because they had a crossover. They had 2 crossovers.
Yep. I was about to say you better be talking about
Fairly Odd Parents.
Timmy Power Hour.
Yes, and Jimmy Neutron. Oh man, I loved both of those shows so much.
Yes, bro. Like, like, okay, let's start. I'm gonna start off with Jimmy. All right, I'm gonna start with Jimmy because first of all, that first movie was heat.
Yes.
That was lit, and then when it, yep, and everybody wanted to try a purple nurple. Everybody
Yes.
wanted to try it at least once. I sure did. And then some of my favorite episodes from that show was the In-Men where they all got superpowers and Jimmy went nuts. I'm like, yeah. And see, then there was the episode where Jimmy and Cindy finally got together. And it's
That
like,
was our first introduction into a tsundere.
yeah, actually, yeah, it was. She was dogging this man the entire series. We all hated her guts, and then over time, we were like, wait, hold on. How did
Because it took Timmy. Sometimes you need an op to reveal to you what you have to appreciate it.
So shout out to our boy Timmy Turner because he out here setting our boys up for success. He's the ultimate wingman.
So I love the episode where it was like the Ice Age. And they had to sweat off of Carl.
Carl. And are we not gonna talk about how Carl simped for Jimmy's mother the entire time?
Yes.
How much of a monster this man was, or just how weird Jimbo is.
And how Sheen, with the Riz of the century, there's no way he should have pulled who he pulled.
There was no way he should have bagged Libby. There was no way.
Yes, the brain blasts were just like amazing. I love the doctor who would always forget stuff. And that just like that episode where it's like, I forgot the bathroom.
Yep. Oh yeah, again, oh yeah, and also there was the episode where they opened up that restaurant and it turned into a whole abomination.
Yes. Remember the pants episode?
Wait, which one was the pants episode?
It was like the pants would go missing because like it would get starts and they became like ops, the pants.
Yes, the pants became. I don't know how in the world you were able to do that. Turn pants into ops. That's crazy.
Oh man. So just like with that, now transition to Fairly Odd Parents. Dude, here comes the Crimson Chin. That was incredible.
Don't you mean the Nega Chin? You can't say that. You can't say that nowadays. You can't say that nowadays.
Oh man, just like that had so many great episodes. I think of like the gaming episode, which was incredible. Man, that was incredible.
Channel Chasers movie.
Oh, bruh. Just like with that, there are a few others that I can just think about where, man, the Blob episode, where it's like he wanted to be normal. And he was just like, yo, I wish everyone was the same or something like that. And they were all blobs. And then it goes to show that no matter if we're all normal, if we're different, people are always going to point out like what's different. There's always going to be hate in the world and stuff like that. So that was crazy.
Also, then there was the super bike episode where his bike went crazy. Mm-hmm. And they showed like, hey, how you love your parents. Oh, speaking of, don't forget the episode where Timmy went back in time and met his parents.
Oh.
Or
wait, also speaking about simping on people's mom, the number one or number two up of that show, Mr. Crocker.
Oh goodness.
With his ear that was like on his neck.
Yo, nah.
And then Vicky, Icky Vicky.
Oh yeah, with Chip Skylark having the greatest diss tracks of all time. Icky Vicky, My Shiny Teeth and Me.
Mm-hmm. And then the Arnold Schwarzenegger,
Jorgen von Strangler. Oh, I can still remember these fools to this day, man.
Man. So just like for a speed run with it, other things I can think of, Cat Dog, Animaniacs is Warner Brothers, so it wasn't Nickelodeon, right? So with that, Cat Dog, Hey Arnold, which was the other one I was thinking about. It was like Cow and Chicken was hilarious. What was it? It was like Roscoe's World. Is that what it's called?
Oh, Roscoe's Modern Life.
Okay, yeah.
Roscoe's Modern Life.
Rocco, okay. That was funny.
That one was a show we should not have been able to watch as kids.
Invader Zim. Oh man.
Invader Zim. We got what was it? Angry Beavers. That was another. Blast from the Past. Let's keep going.
Yeah, I feel like with Nickelodeon, like the top shows like carried it, and then the others kind of filled in. Whereas with like Cartoon Network, it was like more of a
Even split.
yeah, whereas like everything kind of held its own in a sense.
And then Nickelodeon, you get stuff like Rocket Power.
Dang, man, I did not like Rocket Power. Like I just couldn't get into it for some reason.
Honestly, I just watched everything because, it was
That's
a
fair.
cartoon.
It was like oogadoo
Yep.
oogadoo. But also Chalk Zone.
Oh, Rudy got the chalk.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Chalk Zone went crazy.
Yeah, that theme song went nuts. I still need to learn that guitar riff because that was crazy.
Man, I forget. Oh, they did like the lime and the coconut on the first episode with Blue and all that. Man, incredible. That was an incredible show. So we're gonna transition now into Disney Channel. So around the time we grew up, Disney Channel wasn't exactly Cartoon Central. So we're kind of gonna cover not just Disney Channel, but also just like the different live action shows that kind of appeared during that time. So what you got?
All right, so I'm just gonna like get all the cartoon ones that I can remember out the way because there weren't too many that I can think of. So firstly, there was Gargoyles with Keith David
Yes,
out
sir.
here slaying, and that show was dark, and there was no reason whatsoever I should have been able to watch that one too. But it is what it is. Let's talk about American Dragon Jake Long with our boy who was also in the simping territory. This was back when having your love interest be your greatest nemesis wasn't a thing.
Mm-hmm.
But that still popped up there. Let's see what else popped up on Disney Channel. Oh
Proud
yeah,
Family.
Proud Family. Oh that theme song.
Yo, that movie had all of us just like getting it with Zoe.
Yup. Oh yeah, she was hitting that.
She was cooking.
Oh yeah, but speaking of Proud Family, we got to talk about like her crossover with like two other shows, Lilo and Stitch.
Oh yes, Lilo and Stitch. I forgot.
And Kim Possible.
Yes. Yeah.
All of them crossed over with each other. You're just like, hey yo, what? Kim talking with Stitch.
Wow. Then yeah.
Family.
I just remember also with Proud Family where it's just like Sugar Mama, the one where she was like the quarterback for the high school team, and Sugar Mama was like, put my grandbaby in the game. Said, put my grandbaby in the game.
Yes. And of course, Proud Family came back as the Prouder Family.
Bam, the episode where him and Felix, which may or may not be controversial, that Felix family, where they were in the snow and he used his feet because they were so ashy to start a fire.
See, that was a level of ash that I will. There's a reason I use cocoa butter to this day. I use Vaseline, I use moisturizer, I use everything because ain't no way I would ever let any part of my body get to that point, not even my head. All right, that was crazy. But don't forget, what was her name? La Cienega.
Yes.
La Cienega, like her large feet.
Yeah.
Wearing a size 12 shoe at like 8 years old.
And then also with like female simping Dejanay.
Ooh. At least my boy, he never caved. He never caved. Every time
he stayed strong.
He kept it here, boys.
And
remember,
then
simpage doesn't need to happen.
And then the Blue Sisters, I forgot what their name was.
Oh, I forgot too, but that was just pure rage. I was like, bro, how can you be so dark you turn blue?
And then Wizard Kelly, y'all.
Oh no, I'm not about to say what I was gonna say about Wizard Kelly, all right? Or about 5 Cent either.
So moving forward, now that you mentioned Kim Possible, can we talk about Ron with the come up of the century?
Ron Stoppable. He had the biggest come up. You know what I'm saying? He was able to bag a real baddie that's not named Shigo. We need to talk about.
We can talk about Shigo for the rest of the podcast.
Yes, we can. Yes, we can. All right, so we're gonna need to talk about. We can talk about how he bagged Kim. He also clawed his way out the friend zone. It was kind of crazy. He proved that there is God. Because it means even folks like me could have a chance. All right, he gave me hope as a child.
Yes.
And as a child, I did have a girlfriend too. So I was out here. But
Yes.
what we really need to talk about is Shigo. All right, we need to talk about Gothic Mommy.
I don't even remember who the doctor was. All I know is he didn't treat Shigo right.
It was Draken.
Yeah,
Draken. He
of course.
didn't give her the respect she rightfully deserved.
Oh
He's the
man,
biggest op, but the biggest bad at the same time. It's crazy.
crazy.
Let's
And
move
then,
on. Let's move on.
obviously, Lilo and Stitch went crazy. I didn't get into this next show, Phineas and Ferb, but I do acknowledge that it is like one of the better cartoons that were on Disney Channel.
Same.
I think it was because it was after that transition period, and then it's just like I couldn't really get into Phineas and Ferb. Also, a lot of kind of at the time we were growing up, a lot of the Disney movies transitioned into like TV shows. Well, with Disney Channel, it wasn't really the cartoons; it was the live action. So like a That's So Raven, Even Stevens. That Even Stevens movie went crazy, and shows like that.
Sweet Life of Zach and Cody. Hannah Montana,
Absolutely.
the crossover episode between That's So Sweet Life of Hannah Montana.
Oh man, yes, just the episode where she was singing like all the body parts for class. That first episode,
Yeah.
insane. Yeah. Now that you mention it, just like with Sweet Life of Zach and Cody, the come up of Brenda's song, Wendy Wu, Homecoming Warrior, baby.
Oh, yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah, definitely. But
So now that we mentioned any other TV shows live action, because what really hit were the Disney Channel movies.
yeah, I was about to get into like
Oh,
okay,
Sister.
yeah. Yep, sister too. But we need to talk about probably the most influential, probably the one thing I still have not seen yet to this day, the probably the most influential Disney Channel movie of all time, High School Musical.
How have you not seen High School Musical?
Easy.
High School Musical is incredible. Like I can't let you get away with that.
Yeah, I can. Yeah, you can and you will today.
1 and 2 are both really good. Beach.
Nah, I can't. I can't.
That's the next movie night.
No, you will have to tie me up, and I will make sure I'm fighting the entire way.
All right, what's your issue with it? Let's do this now.
Nah, we ain't doing it now. All right.
All right,
All I say is that the movie just don't look good to me.
all right, so we will get your head in the game at some point, but with Disney Channel movies, what was so tough? Growing up, I used to live in the East Coast, so my bedtime, like when I was younger, was like 8:30. Disney Channel movies would always come on at 8, so it's like you could get 30 minutes of a Disney Channel movie, and then it'd be time for bed. So that was rough for the longest time. But Cheetah Girls and Cheetah Girls 2 that went crazy. Twitches, just like different movies like that on that. So yeah,
Halloween Town.
yes.
Also, what was that? Sky High.
Sky High was good.
I went crazy.
Curse of the Irish, which made our list for greatest sports movies of all time.
Yeah. Even though a certain somebody's still bad at us about that.
High School Musical made it too, but like it got kicked out in the first round, which it deserved. Air Buds, I mean, those weren't exclusive but to Disney, but I believe they're made. So kind of moving forward, then we have Jetix with that. So this is where I saw Digimon a lot.
Yeah.
On Jetix.
Yeah, not only that, that's where I saw like this Super Robot Monkey Team Hyperforce Go.
Yes.
Has one of the longest names of all time, but then the one that I still keenly remember and I still love, Shinzo.
Ooh, interesting.
That was the one where it was kind of like an anime, and like kids, they were like using cards to transform into warriors.
Ooh.
And the whole story was like it was set like in the far-flung future when humanity was all but dead and everybody was a demon. But
Okay.
there's like this one human girl who basically like was frozen in time. Basically, she got isekai'd into the future.
Yes.
And like her and her 3 companions essentially had to like find their way to this lost city that apparently had the last vestige of humanity left. It was a crazy show. It went nuts and probably had some, in my opinion, some of like a great action scenes, action set pieces. But yeah, I don't blame y'all if y'all don't remember that one. That was kind of a sleeper.
Mm-hmm. And then I believe the same one, Yin Yang Yo, was pretty dope as well.
Yeah, it was.
And then, like you mentioned earlier before the pod started, Dave the Barbarian.
Barbarian.
That theme song went hard too.
But that also lets you know that it was like 4 or 5 in the morning.
Yeah, that is true. All right, so moving past those, so those were the big three for us growing up in terms of like channels that had cartoons. So now we're going to kind of transition into more adult themed cartoons. So things like The Simpsons, Family Guy, American Dad, South Park, and then the Boondocks.
Greatest one of all time, Boondocks. I don't know what else to tell you.
That last season, man, a lot of people like down it because of that, though.
Listen, I do not care. That's still a great season, great show of all time. I don't care. I'll take no complaints. I'll take no issues. I'll take no at me on this. Fight me. I'll beat you all. I'll say like Rick and Morty kind of counts in this category, especially in later seasons.
I would love if they were to bring it back again, but obviously since Gramps has passed away, it would be best to just like leave it there. But I would say that South Park for me growing up was the one that I kind of stuck with more, just because it was more accessible on Comedy Central, and then Boondocks was like early morning Adult Swim. So man, yeah, South Park definitely before college was one that I should not have been watching.
Oh yeah, I shouldn't have either, but I still watched it religiously. I binge watched that show just ages. All right,
Carmen is a menace.
Yep, have episodes recorded on my DVRs, taking up all the space of just South Park episodes. I just rewatch. But also, when you talk about like Futurama, that's also part of it.
I could never get into Futurama. Like for some reason, I could not get into it. I know they're bringing it back, but for some reason, I just couldn't get into it. Like the only thing I really remember is like Snoo, among other things.
Ooh, best way to go. But and then wait, what was the other one that I saw that was also Beavis and Butthead.
Yes. That was another one where it's just like, yeah,
that one I really couldn't get into too much. But also, there is an adult themed cartoon that we have not mentioned, and the fact that we haven't mentioned it yet kind of bothered me. Spawn the animated series.
Dang! Thing is, it was on HBO.
Exactly, because it was an adult cartoon.
Yeah, Spawn is like beyond adult cartoon.
It's like if you not 21 and over watching that show, don't.
Yeah,
we gave keeping that from y'all.
Yeah, that was definitely a big one that I watched like when I was in college, when I had like access to it more prevalently. I think that was like the main ones. I know Comedy Central probably had a few more like cartoon ones for adults, but yeah, we can. Bob's Burgers is one. I can't get into it, but it is one that I want to bring up.
Yeah, definitely, and also King of the Hill. Come on.
Yes.
It's Texas Boys. It's Texas Boys. I can't allow the King of Hill slander to go on any longer.
So with
coming
that,
back too.
Oh, nice. So with that, we're gonna transition. With time, we're gonna do a make your case. All right. So with one of our most popular segments coming back, we're gonna do a cartoon themed make your case. So first question. Most popular cartoon of all time.
Oh man, of all time, that's kind of crazy. See, I have to go. See, personally, right? I'm going with Avatar: Last Airbender because everybody like everybody who's seen that show loves it and like will sing its praises all day. But in terms of like probably the most popular and probably like the most recognizable, or like in terms of like, all right, you hear the name, you know exactly what to go for. SpongeBob.
Dang, man, that literally was because we had best cartoon of all time, and I was like, we're both going to pick Avatar: The Last Airbender, and then I was like, most popular SpongeBob. Dang. What I will argue, it is SpongeBob. I feel like because Pokemon is an anime, so it doesn't count because obviously that would kind of like trump it most likely. But I'll make an argument for Looney Tunes, because Looney Tunes has been around for almost like 90 years. So just kind of with that, I feel like the different characters, if you do bring it up, it does show that popularity. But man, I personally, I do feel like SpongeBob is the best, most popular of all time.
Yeah, because I'll say if you were going to go down that route, then I would have to go with Tom and Jerry because Tom and Jerry's is even longer than Looney Tunes.
Yeah, that's tough.
And that beef is on site.
See, the thing that I was thinking about is because like our next question is most recognizable cartoon character of all time. The thing is, I feel like if you show someone SpongeBob and you don't know who the name is, say what the name is, I feel like they will always know it's SpongeBob or like however it translates to different languages.
Yep.
For Tom and Jerry, it's a cat and a mouse. You have to put it together, and then you have to draw it a certain way. And then also with Looney Tunes, you could draw Bugs Bunny, but there's been a lot of rabbit characters, is the thing.
Yeah, but I think like with those characters, they are still recognizable to
Absolutely,
like
absolutely.
you like I don't know. It's like unless you like was born in the last 5 years, you
Five. It
probably
has to be five, yeah.
like you probably wouldn't you would know who they are.
Absolutely.
Man.
So but most recognizable cartoon character of all time, obviously we're going both SpongeBob, but if it included anime, it would be Pikachu.
Easy.
It would be without a doubt Pikachu. All right, so this might cause a fight. What is the best cartoon theme song of all time?
Dang.
This one is tough.
Dang, because there are so many bangers, right? There's the SpongeBob theme, we got the Danny Phantom theme, we got the Teen Titans theme.
Scooby Doo theme.
What's new, Scooby Doo? We coming after you. Oh man, and like even the Black in me wants to go with the Boondocks, right?
Dude, I like know like 90% of that by heart. You're
I know
right.
it 100% by heart. I can sing it. I almost sung it when at karaoke. All right, but
I'm only laughing people because of where he was singing karaoke at.
mm-hmm. So, but I had to change my mind because nobody would recognize it. But and dang man, oh
We can't include Pokemon because that
exactly.
first part
If
goes
we included Pokemon, that would be it.
Pokemon for the sweep.
I don't know. I do not know. I honestly don't know. You know what? I'm passing the question on to you. What you have before I make a decision.
Personally, I like the Danny Phantom theme song more than most other theme songs. But the issue is, if we're talking about best, I'm trying to think of like, if you start singing it, can other people join along? And it has to be SpongeBob. Because I
Yeah.
feel like once you hit that, whoa, and then like who lives in the pineapple under the sea, everyone knows the rest of it from there. And you can all sing along. I have to go with SpongeBob again.
Yeah, that's true. It's like that's the best one where with lyrics. I think probably like
Oh, you're right. You're right.
yeah, I was gonna say like one of the best ones that don't have lyrics. With there are two. The Spider-Man 90s series or
Yes.
Batman.
Oh, that's why that 90s one goes hard then.
Down, 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 down.
That goes crazy.
Yep. Like that. No. The best one without lyrics. Without a doubt. X-Men.
Damn. Oh, and they're bringing it back too. X-Men 97.
Everybody knows that cue.
That's a good one. Ah, man, yeah. So that was kind of just our questions for it. I would say like best intro, like not the song, it has to be Avatar: The Last Airbender.
Oh yeah. If you're counting like the animations and all that,
man,
that goes to Avatar easy.
that was tough. All right, so with that, we're just wrapping up. This episode is more of just like going down memory lane. It was really a freak out, geek out section, if we're being honest with it. So we're kind of just getting into this is all setting up just so for next week when we get into our cartoon draft. There's a few that I had to keep in my pocket because I'm always competing against Meech when it comes to these drafts. Honestly, once we get past the first 2 rounds, it's just like you can't really lose. But that's going to be so fun next week. So with that, any recommendations you have?
All I'm saying is that if I get first again for this draft, it's all downhill for everybody else. It's
Whoever gets first, I feel like we all know. I feel like we all know what's going 1 and 2.
Yeah. All it knows that if either of us gets one,
We know what the others.
it's wraps for everybody. But yeah, just be prepped for that draft. And also, hey, just keep a lookout for more of these Secret Invasion recap episodes
Every Monday.
every Monday. Know that probably when you're listening to this, you already listened to episode 3 with a special guest. So boom. Hopefully, hey, be on the lookout.
Yes, for recommendations, I mean, just to kind of like give you kind of networks to think about. Obviously, we said Cartoon Network, Nickelodeon, Disney Channel. Max is owned by Warner Brothers, so that's going to have a lot of more of the Cartoon Network based shows on it. Nickelodeon is Paramount Plus, and then obviously Disney Channel, Disney Plus. So you can kind of go with that. Other things, I can't remember where. I think The Simpsons is on Disney Plus, and then South Park is either on Paramount or Max, just with that. And then moving forward, one movie that I wanted to mention, Who Framed Roger Rabbit? Ooh! That is one of my favorite movies of all time, and I do not care how inappropriate it is today.
Yeah. So in terms of the live action cartoon mixes, which one got it right the best?
I love Space Jam won our tournament, so that like Space Jam is my favorite like mixed movie of all time for like the longest. I do think that Who Framed Roger Rabbit does it better. Like objectively speaking, it does it better.
That's crazy. I was gonna say Across the Spider-Verse, but
I mean, come on. Like, how do we like it's well, not one person, but like a few scenes of it rather than like seamlessly mixing
don't worry about that. Don't worry about that. Just know that Beyond the Spider-Verse is about to go crazy, all right? We about to see a lot.
What you know? What do you know?
Don't worry about that. Don't worry about that. I have sources, okay? And I've done some things, okay? There's some things I did in my break that have warrants. But in terms of let's move it on. I'm just moving on with some more recommendations. Of course, there's also stuff on and we didn't even talk about it. On Amazon Prime, you got Invincible and The Boys.
Yes.
In The Boys animated series, or like the animated prequels. So yeah, the fact we didn't mention those was kind of crazy. But then again, that's a testament to how many.
Technically, The Boys did have a live action crossover with cartoons, Black Noir, before he got isekai.
Ooh, well, we ain't talking about it. We ain't talking about that. But yeah, there's that, and then also on Hulu, that's where you can find Animaniacs. Mm-hmm. So yeah, and anything else before we hit the plugs?
There's a few things on Netflix, but 2 of them are going to be my draft picks, so I'm not going to say it today.
And I think I know exactly which one it is. And I'm going to make sure I beat you to that one. Because
you probably know one. You do not know the other.
You sure about that?
I'm keeping it close.
Are you sure about that?
I'm keeping it as close to the best as possible.
Are you sure about that? Because Netflix and I gotta... All right, let's move on.
The plugs.
All right, plugs. Instagram and Twitter, Blurred City 22. Like, follow, hit the bell notifications, all that good jazz. Blurred City Pod for our YouTube and our Patreon. Go and donate some cheddar. Watch some Patreon exclusive episodes like our analysis, deconstruction, and reconstruction of Spider-Man One More Day. I'm sure everybody would love that. And then we also have ourselves our Discord linked in our Instagram page. Come join this fine community. And then finally, we have ourselves our email, blurredcity22@gmail.com. That's where you submit Geek Out Freakouts, questions for Q&A sessions, and just suggestions for the channel, and where you can leave your comments as wild as they can be. So, hey, that's all we got for that. And then plus personal plug, Rogue Jedi 21 on TikTok, however long we got TikTok left. And yeah, that's all I got.
Yeah, I feel like also if TikTok and Twitter is joining that graveyard, because apparently something was happening on Twitter where people were being limited. I don't understand it, but with that, for my individual author pages, you can catch me at Metri_Dash on my Instagram, METRI_DASH, my Twitter at the Mad-16. And if you're interested in a book, Phantom Pains and Most Irregular Tale, you can catch that on Amazon. Sequel is almost complete. The rough draft is complete, almost done editing. So aiming for end of the year to release. And then if you want to catch our joint farmersmeat.com profile, you can see that under Blurred City 22. So any words of encouragement?
Just know that in terms of words of encouragement, just know that your fan, like what you look at, what you listen to in terms of like cartoons and whatnot, it's completely okay to watch those shows, because as long as they have like good lessons and they don't cause you to go out and do like wildly out of pocket things, then hey, you should be fine. And don't let like the sway of others of like dictate what you can or cannot watch.
Yes.
Unless it's all furry related.
So for me, mine it kind of relates to just the break. So like if you have opportunity to get cultured, go ahead and do that. Go to plays, go to just like comedy shows if you want to, jazz bands, music, concerts, different things. Just kind of like step out of your comfort zone, experience new ways of art, thinking, and things like that. So definitely, if you have an opportunity, whether it's you doing it yourself or with others, just take that chance and have a good time. So with that, we're going to say it's not goodbye forever. This is goodbye for now. And that's the Blerd City Podcast.
See ya later.